You don't just wear the navy blue, you carry it on your back, in your bones, through every tackle you cop and every meter you claw back. Because when you pull on that Guernsey, the old dark blue, you're not stepping into a game, you're stepping into a legacy. A legacy carved through paddocks and pubs, through generations of blokes who bled for the sash. Every thread of that jumper whispers something. Hold your ground. This ain't a fashion piece, it's a bloody responsibility. There's a weight to it, and it's not light. It's the weight of names spoken in reverence across the heartland, of boots that left prints so deep, they're still felt in the turf. Walk down Royal Parade on a Saturday morning. You'll feel it. It's not just fans streaming in, it's a tribe answering a call. Young kids in oversized Blues jumpers, old-timers with voices hoarse from decades of yelling, "Baggers!" Fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, all tied to something bigger than themselves. See, this club, it doesn't chase trends. It doesn't chase glory for the sake of it. It chases pride. Pride in the Navy. Pride in doing things the Carlton way. Hard. Honest. No shortcuts. There's an aura around this club. You feel it when the boys run out. You hear it in the roar before the bounce. You see it in the eyes of the ones who would give anything just to be out there. Because this Guernsey demands everything and gives something back that few understand. Belonging. There was a time when the lights dimmed, when whispers turned into headlines and pride into silence, when the badge on the chest still burned, but the scoreboard didn't. These were the years that tested us, not the kind of test you train for, the kind that comes when the noise fades and only loyalty remains. You see, anyone can cheer when the ladder's sweet, when the wins come easy and the footy's clean. But Carlton had to learn how to stand tall when the world stopped watching. That Guernsey didn't feel any lighter, the colors didn't fade, but the weight, it grew heavier. We copped it, mate. From the media, from rival fans, sometimes even from within. But the true blokes, they didn't flinch. They still turned up to training in the wet, still roared from the nosebleeds when we were 20 points down in the last, still believed in something more than wins. Because this club isn't built on score lines. It's built on grit. It's built on staying. Even when it's easier to walk. You'd see them. Those old-timers at Icon Park, rain dripping from the cap, still barking at the boys like it was the back-in-the-day days. Not because they thought we'd win, but because they never stopped loving the fight. And slowly, one by one, a new wave started to get it. Young bloods who didn't care about the past glories. They just saw the struggle and said, "We want in." They didn't come to play pretty footy. They came to earn back respect for the badge, for the jumper, for every bloke who never left. Some clubs build reputations. Carlton builds men, real ones. Blokes who'd throw themselves into the fire and not flinch. Because wearing the navy blue never meant being comfortable. It meant being ready. You walk through the halls of Icon Park. You don't see statues. You feel spirits. The kind of spirits that don't fade when the siren ends. They linger in the change rooms, in the mud, in every shoulder that gets squared when the heat comes. This club's bloodline isn't stats or trophies. It's names. Names that echo across generations like battle cries. Some with banners raised, others who never made a headline, but left it all out there every single week. There was the bloke who copped 6 stitches and went back in like it was nothing. The one who busted his knee in round 2 and still rocked up to training just to push the others harder. No cameras, no speeches, just footy. Because that's what Carlton breeds. Warriors with no need for spotlight. Some gave us brilliance. Some gave us grunt. Some gave us everything. You don't forget them. Not the way they led, not the way they hit, not the way they spoke in actions, not words. They're the kind of men who didn't need motivation. They had the Guernsey, and that was enough. You'll hear their stories in pubs across Brunswick and Coburg. Old blokes retelling moments with mist in their eyes. Not because of the wins, but because they saw heart. You can break bones, you can crush seasons, but there's one thing you can't kill: the spirit of this club. It's in the stands when we're 5 goals down and still chanting. It's in the boot of a bloke who drives 6 hours just to watch the boys train. It's in the voice that yells, "Carn the bloody baggers," with cracked lungs and a full heart. This club's copped hits, heavy ones, on the field, off it. But each time we were counted out, we rose swinging. Because we're not just here for footy, we're here for redemption, for proof. That heart beats harder than hype, for every kid who grew up with Navy in his blood and a dream stitched into his Guernsey. You see, some clubs rely on stars. Carlton builds belief, that raw, stubborn, no matter what belief that says, we'll go again and we'll go harder. You don't forget them. Not the way they led, not the way they hit, not the way they spoke in actions, not words. They're the kind of men who didn't need motivation. They had the Guernsey, and that was enough. It's not in the headlines. It's in the silent grind of preseason, in the bruises no one claps for, in the hands lifted after a dropped mark. Head up, mate, we go again. You talk to the blokes in the rooms, and you'll hear it. Not excuses, not pity. Just this quiet fire. A fire that doesn't roar. It burns deep, smoldering through the tough years, waiting for the moment it erupts, not in noise, but in payback. Because we're not here to participate. We're here to prove that the Carlton spirit, I to never died, I to just waited. Footy's changed. More cameras, more talk, more noise. But some things, the real things, they don't change. And Carlton still matters. Not because of flags, not because of numbers on a board, but because of what it stands for. Go to any suburban oval in the north. You'll see a kid in a Navy Guernsey pretending he's running out onto the G, not chasing fame, chasing meaning. That's what this club gives people, a sense of who they are. You wear this blue, and you walk taller, you fight harder. You remember that life's not about shortcuts. It's about grit. It's about turning up when it's easier to sleep in, about backing your mates when they're copping it, about standing in the storm and saying, I'm still here. Because this club, it raises fighters. It teaches us that belief isn't just for the good days, it's for the muddy ones, the cold nights, the losses that sting and still don't break you. Carlton matters because it reminds us that footy isn't about being perfect. It's about being proud. Proud of the jumper, proud of the struggle, proud of the fight that never goes away. And maybe that's why the navy blue runs so deep, because in a world that moves fast, Carlton stays true. It still teaches boys to become men, still unites streets, pubs, suburbs, still makes your chest pump when that song blares and the boys lock arms. Because at the end of the day, this ain't just a team, it's who we are.